Now with Troy, and I believe we're live now. And so it's been a while. Um, Thank you for another. Oh, I'm getting an echo. Hold on. There we go. All right. Welcome to another Now with Troy. And if you've not seen these before, it's been a while, but I used to do these every week with a Workflow Wednesday, looking at what's happening right now in the business world and what's happening right now in the world of ServiceNow. And I created this little logo called Now with Troy to talk about just that. And so for the past almost 10 months, I've been part of ServiceNow as a services account executive. I've been around ServiceNow for a long, long time. Even before we started at ServiceNow, every release, every 6 months, we name it after a new city or state or city. And we're on Utah. So if you ratchet that back, the first alphabetical release was Aspen. I've been around ServiceNow since before the Aspen release. And so I've enjoyed working with the platform and enjoy having time like this where I can share some thoughts and help you consider how you can get more value out of ServiceNow, but also just enjoy helping people think how they can use this platform to really transform the world of work. And so each week I try and come up with different topics to share with you. Today, I want to talk about our product impact and knowledge. Knowledge is our annual user conference. It's coming up next week. And our product called Impact is going to be a main theme throughout the event. You're going to hear it from our keynote, and you're going to hear it with a number of different sessions. And so if you're preparing to go, I hope you find this, and I hope you find it very helpful. Because what I want to do is I want to set the stage for what is this new product called Impact. It's been out for a little over a year, and we've got a whole number of customers on it, and we're seeing stories back from them. And you're going to hear from those that on the keynote. You're going to also hear directly from them at a number of different sessions at our knowledge event. And so today we'll talk through some of that. And so let me turn on my desktop and I'll show you. We'll first start off with just kind of a brief overview of what the heck is Impact. And Impact is really an enterprise value acceleration tool. How do you get more value from ServiceNow? Now, if your company is invested in ServiceNow, you probably have thought about that of, how do we take and get the most value from it? And as you invest in ServiceNow, there were some hopes and dreams of what that's going to do for your organization. And many times, I know myself included, we think about things we're going to buy and we really look forward to it. And as we get it, it's not always, we don't put it in play. Let's say it's a new exercise bike or something else where you plan for it. You say this is going to make an impact in my life, and you get it, and you just don't put it to use. Or you try and put it to use, and it just seems cumbersome. Something isn't working right, but it sort of works, but it's just not as easy as you thought. One of the things we find is, in that scenario with exercise, finding a trainer and finding someone that can encourage you and give you some guidance on how best to use it, when to do the intervals, when to set up your workouts. Having that guidance helps you not only use it, but use it to the best of those capabilities as it fits for your environment. And one of the things we found when we were creating the product called Impact is just that our customers that were using ServiceNow were finding successes in pockets, but they needed help being able to really staff up their team. There's so much information from ServiceNow trying to figure out what information matters to them. They needed some way to personalize it. And they also needed a whole number of different tools that can help themselves get trained and enabled on the platform, but also whether they're doing the implementation themselves, or they're working with one of our 2,000 partners, or they're working directly with us. Did you realize ServiceNow has expert services? We do. But independent of which organization is doing your implementation, you want to make sure that they're understanding the value across the entire platform and understanding where the platform is going and how best to utilize it. And that's where the Impact Squad and the Impact product really shows up. I love this chart. And if you spend time looking at it, right in the middle, the kind of the blue in the middle says premium customer support and developer support. Often when people think about impact and they think about some of the things that they're moving from, it's like, oh, this is your new support. That's true. Our new support structure is based off of impact, and there's different levels of support that you can get. But the key is, because we spent time interviewing our customers and really found that they needed time and they needed resources, they needed help to drive value in the organization, we've wrapped all these other capabilities around it. So Impact became a product built on ServiceNow that as your users and your leaders come into the product, you see your business objectives. You see your value journey, if you will. What are the KPIs and the initiatives that are driving that objective so you can accomplish it? And you can see that in a roadmap view, and you can see the KPIs, the actual numbers, to see how it's trending over time. That are we really moving towards the adoption that we're hoping for? Are we getting the efficiency gains that we had hoped for? And you can track those, and you can see the initiatives that you put in place that are making that difference. All enabled underneath it are tools that we call accelerators. Analysis tools that your squad can run that can provide your team, your partners, or us as expert services additional insight to help you really increase adoption, find some ways to improve, let's say your security, your CMDB, prepare for an update, work on virtual agent. This catalog of accelerators, which is available on our doc site, is growing constantly. As I talked about earlier, we have a major release every 6 months. We also have quarterly releases. Our Impact Squad or Impact Business Unit is expanding that catalog every quarterly release. And so as our customers are using this platform, not only do they get to use all of the capabilities that they got when they first got it, it's extending and it's expanding. And so you're really seeing the value of the platform. You're being able to compare it with your peers to see how you're doing across the managing your instance and how you're using it. But also, one of the things we heard is, how do I keep track of my instances and make sure they're healthy? We had things where we call health scan, where we'd take our production environment, we'd clone it back to a pre-production environment so it's outside of use, and then we'd do some analysis on it and be able to process that and say, well, we found some things here that we recommend you change. It's very helpful, but also very reactionary. With Impact, we have something called Instance Observer, and I believe it's this slide. There we go. Guess again, where is it? Here. There we go. Instance Observer, which is a capability of Impact, runs on our platform watching all of your instances. Not just production, not just a clone, but watching them completely. So you can see where are the health of our instances, and where we've seen customers recognize this is, let's say they're doing a change in development and they see a peak on the amount of CPU usage or database usage or something like that. And as you look at it, you can see there was a development error, but we caught it in development, not in test, not in prod. And so by pushing that awareness of your instant health so much earlier and being able to create alerts against it, we've been able to stay much more efficient and keep things running. If I jump to this slide, just saying, what are our customers saying after jumping onto the Impact product? What are they experiencing? And I'm not going to read all of these, but as I pull through a couple of them, adoption. Look at this one on the bottom of the left-hand side. Through Impact, we drove the adoption of our IT service management by 314%. By having all of these tools, by having the Impact Squad, by having access to the training and the adoption toolkits and other things, our users are finding that they're driving adoption of this platform that they bought. It's almost like not only am I getting on that treadmill, but I also have my family getting on that treadmill and using it. They're finding more and more use of the capabilities. Talked about Instance Observer a little bit and how we can move from being reactionary to proactive. That first one, after 1 year of purchasing Impact, our P1 instance, priority one, those major ones where you're really affecting the organization because something is down, dropped by 30%. as well as critical adoption increased by 21%. So think about that. You bought the product, you're seeing additional capabilities being adopted and used. At the same time, you're seeing a much lower case of when you're affecting the organization with major incidents causing outages. There's so many ways that impact can make a difference in your organization. And with knowledge coming up, I have 2 slides to really walk through. This first one is an eye chart. I'll put a link in the channel below all these videos of, if you're going to knowledge, there are sessions. As you're building your agenda, search for impact and you'll find them. These are going to be likely very hard to read in the video, but you can see there's many sessions where our customers are standing on the stage and they're telling their story, as well as some of our own impact products, talking about some of those, saying how are we really pushing the envelope on the platform, pushing the digital experience so that our customers are leveraging ServiceNow to get more value out of ServiceNow. And so make sure you catch these if you're at Knowledge next week, as well as there's a list of our leaders that are there. So if you're at Knowledge, make sure that if you're in these sessions that you watch for these individuals. Pull them off to the side and say, hey, Troy mentioned that you're going to be here. I understand you're involved in impact. Can you help me understand how it's going to be personalized to my environment? Because there are 3 pillars that I talk about with impact. The first is being personalized. The second is value acceleration. And the third is empowering your staff. So as you think about how you've invested in ServiceNow, you're going to knowledge, you're trying to think, how are we going to use this in ITSM, in security, in business continuity, in HR, in risk, in ITOM, in secure, in vulnerability response, all the different capabilities internally, as well as looking at how to use it to serve your customers. There's so many different ways that you can apply ServiceNow to make a difference in the world of work in your organization. These leaders can give you some context and some stories of how they've seen our customers use impact to help drive more value out of the various components of our platform. So as you prepare for Knowledge next week, keep impact in mind. You'll hear about it, like I said, on a number of different sessions from our keynote on, and watch for those leaders where you can connect with them. If you want to see the platform itself, like anything, the best way to see a product is to see a product demo. PowerPoints are fine, PowerPoints are great, but more importantly, to be able to see and experience what we call the impact digital experience, the platform itself, is the best way to really see it in your environment. I'm a services account executive. There's one in your area. If you're in manufacturing in West or Texas Heartlands, right, in that area, reach out to me. Even if I'm not in the area, I can help connect you with someone that can. Ask, can I see the impact, digital experience, and understand how it can be personalized for our environment, for our users, that can help us drive more value. It's kind of like nitrous for your ServiceNow investment. Getting more value out of your car, if I were a tuner, I'm not really, but if you think about your car, when you add nitrous to a car, it increases the speed and horsepower that you get from the engine. Now, if you don't know where the baseline of your car is, you don't know your lap times, you don't know your 0 to 60, you don't know your horsepower, it's going to be hard to understand the impact of providing more nitrous, more power to it. But as you start looking at how ServiceNow is driving your digital transformation across your enterprise and driving more value, when you apply impact to that equation, it's like adding nitrous to your ServiceNow investment to help you get value faster. And so lean into it, find out more, reach out and see the digital impact experience. Again, I'm Troy, easy to find on LinkedIn. Find me on YouTube, where these are cast, and you can access all of the Now with Troy episodes. Subscribe on there, and I look forward to talking with you. Thanks. Bye-bye.